So let's continue playing with the console log a bit. Now, this is getting a little messy, a little cluttered, so I'm actually going to go ahead and refresh this. And now the console log is blank. That's what happens. The console log is temporary if you close Chrome, if you refresh it. Bye-bye console log. Now you do have this little preserve log feature up here that you might have noticed. You can play with that a little bit if you want. And that will prevent some of that disappearing. But it is what it is. When we get into making a simple web page with JavaScript on it, that's how you can get a little more permanence in your code. So far we just did a simple console log command, right? Now we can change this up a little bit. What we did was we did console.log, and in quotation marks we did hello JS or hello world or whatever, and that's fine. But we can put more than one command on a line if we want to. So far we ran one command at a time. That little semicolon tells JavaScript, tells the browser that this command is done, which means I can type my next command immediately. So console log, and maybe now we do JS, and finish that line. And so now you can see it wrote both. Now inside of these quotation marks I'm putting a string. The little quotation marks tell JavaScript that this is a string. We can do this a little bit differently too. Let's say that we want string 1 to be hello, and oops, make sure we put some quotes on that so it knows it's a string. And we'll go ahead and close it out with a semicolon, and we'll do string 2 is going to equal JS. Close it out with a semicolon. And now let's do console.log, and we're going to tell it that we want it to add string 1 and string 2 together. So what do you think is going to happen? You probably have some ideas. Oh, we forgot my exclamation point. Very important. Alright, so we got hello JS. So a string is not a mathematical thing. Letters are not mathematical. So it's not going to try to add them together the way that we do math. It's just going to put one right after the other. So hello JS. Now notice that I'm missing a space there. We thought of these as two separate things, but I didn't actually put a space in there. And even though we think of them as separate, the computer doesn't. So if I want that space in there, I can do it a couple different ways. One, I could just add a space onto any of these strings, before or after. What I could also do is I could even tell it here inside of this console.log command to add a space in there. This starts to look a little weird because you've got like these 4 symbols in a row with seemingly nothing between them, but this space outside of quotation marks is just white space, and it doesn't really mean anything. However, this space inside of quotation marks is it's the character of a space. It's like the letter of a space, which we don't really think of it that way, but the computer does. So now if I press return, there we go, hello, space JS. Now I mentioned math, and that's one of the other things too, is that programming languages can do math for us. So in the console log, I could tell it to give me an equation. Now we don't want to do quotes, because if we do quotes here, like 1 plus 3, it just writes 1 plus 3, because it's not thinking of this as the number 1 plus the number 3. It's thinking of this as like character 1, character plus symbol, character 3. Because by putting this around it, we told it that it was a string. We told it that these are just characters. We told it to not think about math, but to just think about this as characters. So if we wanted to do math, we do the same thing, we just don't put any quotation marks. So 1 plus 3. So there you go, there you have 4. And of course we can do more complex stuff in the math. Computers are rather great at math, so I can do like that, and like that, and the little star is a multiplication symbol, so don't let it throw you. 3 and a slash is division, so 8, and we can tell it to run, and there we go. Apparently that equals 6.625. I was just throwing random numbers in there, so I wasn't sure what to expect, but there you go. There's some math for you. Now, you might be wondering, what happens if you type in a string like hello, and then you type in like a number? That's a great question. And instead of me showing you everything, I'm going to go ahead and finish this video now, and you can go ahead and try it out and see what happens.